victory.
Hey,
You have the victory.
thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
Glory to your name, oh God. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, God.
Hallelujah, God. Hallelujah, God.
I'm trading my sorrow. I'm trading my day. And I'm laying it down for the joy of the Lord. And I'm trading my sickness. And I'm trading my pain. And I'm laying it down for the joy of the Lord. I tell him, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, amen.
Yes, God. Yes, God.
Persecuted, not abandoned, struck down and not destroyed. Blessed beyond the curse, for His promise to endure. That His joy's gonna be my strength. Though the sorrow may last for a night, joy comes in the morning. I'm trading my sorrow. I'm trading my shame, and I'm laying it down for the joy of the Lord. And I'm trading my sickness, and I'm trading my pain, and I'm laying it down for the joy of the Lord. Let's tell him, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, amen. We are prayers but not crushed, persecuted, not abandoned, struck down but not destroyed. We're blessed beyond the curse, for His promise will endure. That His joy's gonna be our strength. Though the sorrow may last for a night, joy comes in the morning. I'm trading my sorrow, and I'm trading my shame. I'm laying it down for the joy of the Lord. And I'm trading my sickness. I'm trading my pain. I'm laying it down for the joy of the Lord. Come on, tell me yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, amen.
Hallelujah.
Tell him yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, amen.
Glory. Glory to God.
Yes, Lord.
Glory to God.
Yes, Lord.
Glory to
Yes
God.
to your will. We
Yes.
say yes, God. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, God.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, God.
We worship you
How
in
many
this
people are
place, oh
thankful for
God.
God's new beginning?
Thank you, God.
Thank you, God. Behold,
Hallelujah,
the
God.
old has passed away, and the new has come. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, God.
Glory
We're
to your
moving
name.
forward. We're moving forward.
Glory to God.
What a moment
Yes.
have brought me to such a freedom. I have found in you. You're a healer. You make all things new. Yeah. than what they are right now.
Thank you, God.
But I know that there's some folks that have experienced growth,
Move by your spirit, God.
that know what it means to grow in Christ. That's called sanctification. I know that we got some folks that's been through the sanctification process, that are continuing through the sanctification process, and understand where they used to be. You can look back to who you used to be, and you can just shake your head and say, man, a couple years ago, a couple months ago, a couple weeks ago, a couple days ago, I wouldn't have done what I'm doing right now. But by the glory of God, by the grace of God, something's different inside of me. I'm different, I'm changing. I'm not the same person as I used to be. I can't do the same things as I used to do. I don't feel right in the same places I used to go. You make all things easy for me. If any man be in Christ, then he be a new creation.
Thank you, God.
If any man be in Christ,
Thank you for your spirit, God.
don't you let nobody tell you that you have not changed.
Thank you, God.
Don't
Thank
you
you,
let
God.
nobody tell you that it's impossible for
Thank
you
you,
to
God.
change.
Thank you, God.
Or you just stuck in your
Thank
way,
you,
you ain't gonna never change. That's not the truth, because if any man be in Christ,
Speak, Lord. Speak, Lord.
he be a new creation.
Thank you, God.
Oh, I stand here as a living
Thank you,
witness,
God.
a testimony to you, that
Glory
if
to
God can
God.
change me, if God can change this
Glory
heart,
to God. Thank
he
you,
can change
Jesus.
anybody.
Thank you, Jesus.
The person that you see standing before you is not the person that I was years ago.
Glory to God.
Heartless. Heartless. One of the reasons I joined the military, aside from wanting to die myself, was to kill some other folk. Heartless.
Speak, Lord.
Heartless. Came out just ready to kill because I was angry. I just wanted sanctification. I want somebody to sanction me to be able to do it. I didn't want to do time. I wanted somebody to give me permission to be evil. I was upset when they told me, when I went into the recruiting office and they asked me what I wanted to be, and I said a sniper. And I was mad when they told me, we're sorry, women aren't allowed to do that. I said, well, get me close as good as you can to a gun, then anybody, and take me over there as soon as possible.
Yes. Jesus.
See, when you have anger built up inside of you, when you have hurt built up inside of you, when the world has been so crazy and harmful to you, at that point you don't care who you harm or who harms you.
That's right.
But if God can change this heart,
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
if God can change this mind,
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
if God can change this soul,
Yes. Yes.
then God can change anybody.
Yes.
We talked about being grateful.
Yes.
You don't know the cost of my oil. You don't know the cost of the oil of the person standing next to
Yes. Thank you, God. Thank you.
you. You don't know why somebody praises and worships the way that they do.
Thank you.
But if you're grateful today, let's sing this song with adoration to our God. I am grateful for the things that you have done. Yes, I'm grateful for the victories we won. I could go on and on and on about your words because I'm grateful, grateful, so grateful. have done. Yes, I'm grateful for the victories we won. I could go on and on and on about your word. Because I'm grateful. Because I'm grateful, grateful, so grateful just to praise you, Lord. Flowing from my heart. Put your hand on your heart. Are the issues? Are the issues of my heart. That's where I want you to sing from today. It's gratefulness. It's gratefulness. Forget about what's up here in your mind and focus on what's going on in your heart right now. Grateful, 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 grateful. Sing this from your heart. Grateful, 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 gratefulness is flowing from my heart. Grateful, 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 gratefulness is flowing. Come on, sing grateful, 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 grateful,
Hallelujah, Jesus.
grateful, grateful,
Hallelujah, God.
grateful, gratefulness.
Yes,
It's
God.
flowing from my heart. Grateful, 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 gratefulness is flowing from my heart. Grateful, grateful, grateful,
Yes,
grateful,
Jesus. Yes, God.
grateful, 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 gratefulness is flowing from my heart.
Glory
Flowing
to God.
my heart.
Glory to God.
Are the issues?
Glory to God.
Are the issues of my heart. His gratefulness. His gratefulness. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. It's gratefulness. Gratefulness flowing from my heart. How many people are grateful this morning?
Hallelujah.
Grateful.
Yes,
Grateful.
Yes,
Grateful.
God.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yes,
Thank
God.
you, Jesus. Thank you for
Glory to
salvation.
your name, oh God.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Father.
God. Thank you. God.
Thank
Give
you,
you the
Father.
glory, God. Come on,
Thank
let's
you,
magnify
Father.
Him. Come on, let's
Thank
give
you,
God some
Father.
glory this morning.
Thank you,
Come on,
Father.
clap your hands.
Thank you, Father.
Come on, lift your voice. Get
Glory
up
to
with your
God.
lips. Hallelujah.
Worship you, Lord. Give your name.
Hallelujah. We're grateful this morning. Come on, let's just exalt the Lord this morning. Let's give Him glory. Come on, exalt the Lord this morning. He's been real good. He's been real good. He's been real good. Thank you, Jesus. You've been real good. You've been real good. Better than I've ever been to myself. You've been real good. Come on, give God some praise. Don't stop praising Him. Don't stop praising Him. Come on. Thank you, Jesus. Good God. If you're grateful this morning, tell Him. Tell Him. Tell Him you're grateful.
You are an awesome wonder,
Tell
Lord
Him
God.
you're grateful.
Thank you, Jesus. Perfect in all of your ways, God, we praise you.
I'm grateful
We give
this
you the
morning.
glory, Father God.
Some of us, we allow
Thank you,
circumstance and situation get in
Thank
line,
you,
get in the way of
Jesus.
our gratefulness.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
on. Stop focusing on what's not exactly right. Stop focusing on the stuff that you're not grateful for. Well, I would be grateful if. Because we let that kind of stuff stop us. I'll be grateful when this happened. I'll be grateful when that happened. I'll be grateful. This is stopping me from being grateful. I can't be grateful today because this is happening in my life. I can't be grateful right now because that's going on. But you know it's possible for you to be grateful in the midst of a storm.
Hallelujah, God. Speak, Lord. Speak, Lord.
Joy.
Thank you, God.
Joy is not based on circumstances and situations.
Thank you, God.
The joy of the Lord should be within you.
Thank
You
you,
should
God.
feel joyous regardless of what's going
Thank you,
on.
God.
Because you have Jesus Christ who is your
Thank you,
Savior,
God.
who is working it out for your
Thank you.
good.
Minister
All
to your
things
people,
work
God.
together for the
Minister
good
to
of
your
those
people,
that
God.
love
Yes, God.
the Lord and are called according to His
Yes,
purpose.
God. Thank you, God.
That's reason enough to be grateful.
Thank you, God.
Oh God, I see I'm going through some turmoil. I'm grateful. Why? Because it's an opportunity for you to be loved. I'm grateful.
Hallelujah, God.
Yeah, I'm still gonna smile through it. Why? Because if the enemy wanna see me sad, then he ain't gonna get the pleasure. I'm still gonna smile through it. I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
Glory to God.
I'm grateful.
Glory.
I'm grateful for everything God has given. He's given me too
Thank you,
much
Jesus.
for me not to be grateful.
Hallelujah, God.
He has blessed me too good for me not to be grateful.
Hallelujah, God.
Because to be ungrateful about anything is to be ungrateful about everything.
Jesus.
Well, I'm just going to be ungrateful about that part, grateful for this part. No, you got to have the sun and the rain. How could you appreciate the sunshine if it never rained and then you know what a rainy day looked like? How could you ever have a flower if it did not fall from the sky, rain onto it so that it could grow? You better be thankful for the good and for the bad. I'm thankful, God. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm thankful. I don't have to understand it, but I'm grateful. I don't have to get it, but I'm grateful. I ain't got to make heads and tails of it, but I'm grateful.
Hallelujah, God.
Think back on your life sometimes, some of the things that you were not grateful for and that you wanted.
Yes,
And
God.
think about what God has given you now because you didn't have that thing that you thought you wanted.
Thank you, God.
Don't you wish you would have been grateful
Thank you,
then for God's removal?
Thank you, God.
As grateful as you are now
Thank
for
you,
what
God.
He did? Some of us right now know what I'm talking about.
Thank
You
you.
look to your left and to your right. If God hadn't removed that one from your life, that one you cried over, the one you lost sleep over, the one that you was upset about, then God would not have been able to bless you with the one that you have right now. And if you ain't got nobody right now, think about the peace that you have that you didn't have.
Thank you, God.
You better be grateful.
Thank you,
You
God.
better be grateful.
Thank you, God. Thank
You
you,
better
God.
be grateful. I'm grateful, God. I ain't got to understand it, but I'm grateful.
Thank you, God.
Hallelujah.
It don't have to make sense,
Thank you, God.
but I'm grateful.
Thank you, God.
Those of us that raise children, we understand this, don't we? That sometimes when a child has a good thing and has too much of a good thing, it's time to remove the good thing from them.
My.
I don't let Maya eat a whole piece of cake on her own. Why? Because then the devastation after the cake is what I don't want her to experience. The belly ache after the cake. And so I give her a piece or two, and then I know when she's had enough, and then it's retrieved from her. And some of us, we cry bloody murder when God takes something from us, but He knew what the devastation was going to be. He allowed you to keep it.
Come on, Pastor. Come on.
God.
Somebody didn't want to receive that right there.
Minister to your people.
They didn't want to receive that. God would have let you keep doing whatever you was doing. If God had felt good to you right then, but if He would have let you keep going the way you wanted to keep going, if He would have just said, I don't care what they do, just let them do it anyhow, and God hadn't intervened on your behalf, then you would have been devastated in the end.
Please, Holy Ghost.
Yes.
But perhaps that thing that God is now blocking is what is saving you.
Hey!
I'm grateful.
My God.
I ain't got to understand it, God. I'm grateful.
Thank you,
I'm
Jesus.
grateful. I'm grateful for the things that I see that you've done and the things that you've done and I was unaware.
Thank you, God.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm going to say this and then we're about to go into giving time. God arrested me real quick when we went to Baltimore for that last trip when my aunt passed away. 3 years prior, she had gotten that, and some of y'all have heard this testimony, she had gotten that weird disease that was going around up there in Baltimore that killed like anybody that had it. And she had gotten that. They couldn't diagnose. Word of God, the book of Jeremiah, which is in the Old Testament, Jeremiah 32. And we're going to read the 26th through the 27th verse, Jeremiah 32. We know that Jeremiah is known as the weeping prophet. Jeremiah did not get to see the blessings of God come to pass. In fact, all he had to give was bad news most of the time. Jeremiah 32, 26, 27. It reads, "Then the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah," verse 27, "I am the Lord, the God of all mankind. Is anything too hard for me?" May God add a blessing to the reading of his word. You may have your seats in the presence of God. Amen. I am the Lord, the God of all mankind. Is anything too hard for me? This word from God came to Jeremiah at a time when he was witnessing and foreseeing the destruction of Israel. Understand, like I said, Jeremiah is known as the weeping prophet. All he saw was destruction. And at the time of this word, he himself was locked away. He was a prisoner. Yet as bad as things were and as bleak as things seemed, God had also promised restoration upon Israel, saying to Jeremiah, "I am the Lord, the God of all mankind. Is anything too hard for me?" You know, God is indeed good for asking that rhetorical question. He posed the same question to Sarai and Abram as they questioned whether Sarai in her old age could conceive a child. We know that Sarai was unable to bear children, and she had become of old age. And not only was she barren and young, she was old and barren, past childbearing age, in her 90s. And so the word of the Lord came, and the angel of the Lord came and said that she would bear a child. And as they were laughing about that thing, they said, the question was posed, is there anything too hard for God? We are reminded even in the New Testament that nothing is impossible with God. Somebody say nothing. Nothing. No thing. There is nothing impossible with God. Not one thing is impossible with God. And we really have to get that into our mindset. That there really is nothing impossible for God. There's nothing impossible with God. The psalmist said, when God is in it, there is no limit. And so when God is on your side, when God is invited into a situation, do you not realize that all of the limits are automatically taken off? Know who you're riding with. You know, the thing is, when you get ready to go, and even me, I'm a veteran, but if I try to go to the military base, I don't get but so far. Why? Because I don't have the appropriate ID. I don't have the jurisdiction. I don't have the permission to get into certain places. And so one of the places I can't get into is the military base. I used to be able to get into the military base based on the card I had, but as soon as I came out, they revoked that card, it expired, I no longer can go. But when you have someone who is military personnel, who is in the car with you or driving you, guess what? If somebody who is active duty says, come on, Pastor, get in, I'm going to take you on to the military base. Well, I don't mind if I do. I like the gym at the military. So I'm going to take you to the gym, Pastor. Get on there. I can't go by my own volition, because if I get to the gate and show them, hi, I used to be in the military, they're going to turn me right back around. But if I have someone that's either driving me, and they don't even have to be at the wheel, they can just be in the passenger seat. And I get to the gate and I say, well, I'm not in the military, but they are. Know who you're riding with. Better yet, let them have the wheel, because at that point, it don't matter who you are. It only matters who they are, and you will be able to get to the destination which you desire. Many of us are trying to get to places by our own volition that we don't have permission to get to. You're trying to do the impossible in and of yourself, and with you, the impossible is impossible. But if you have God in it, and better yet, if you just let him have the wheel, I like the song, Jesus, Take the Wheel. If you just allow God to take the wheel, there are no limitations. You can go anywhere and be any place that you so want to be.
Thank you, God.
Thank you, God.
Nothing is impossible with God. Yesterday we went to the farmer's market. Y'all been to the farmer's market in Forsyth Park? If you have not gone, it's on Saturday mornings. I know it ends at 1. I'm not sure what time it starts. I think 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, maybe even earlier. But they set up, and all of the local farmers and people that raise their own meat and people that do their own cheese and that sort of thing, they come out and they bring their goods, their vegetable goods or their meat goods or their dairy goods, and they bring them to the market. And as you walk through, it's just right there on Forsyth Park, close to Brighter Day and all that. As you walk through, you can choose from whichever vendors and purchase honey and vegetables, flowers, all sorts of wonderful things that are homegrown, locally grown. And we were at the farmer's market, and we were headed back. We had been, and then we'd gotten what we had come for, and we had even seen Monica and Sister Cassie was out there, and they caught me in the middle of talking to Maya. Boy, Maya's little girl there, and she was hitting her daddy, and it just made me just want to chastise Maya for a second, because I said, you can't do that. Don't learn nothing. What you looking at right now is not, so poor thing, she didn't even do nothing, but she got talked to, I don't want to learn nothing that she shouldn't know. And so we headed back to our car after it was all said and done. Headed back to our car, and our friend Panhandle Slim was out there doing a pop-up gallery. He's an artist, and many of you may know him or seen him, and you've certainly seen his artwork, the walls of hope that hang around our city. That's Panhandle. He does those walls of hope, and Erica, and then they go out there and they hang them up on different walls and various places throughout the city. And Panhandle's out there doing one of his pop-up shows. He does those out there near the every Saturday around 11 o'clock that he's in town. He's nationally known, so sometimes he's out of town doing something, but he would happen to be out there yesterday, and as we were passing by, I noticed the first picture as we were passing back to go to our car was a picture of Billie Holiday. And all of you all that know me well know that I love Billie Holiday, and in fact there's a certain song that I sing to Erica all the time. It's called Crazy He Calls Me, and I sing that to her all the time. I've been singing it for years, and one of the lines of the song is the difficult I'll do right now, the impossible will take a little while. And daggone if the quote wasn't right there on the picture. And so it was a picture of Billie Holiday, and it said, the difficult I'll do right now, the impossible will take a little while. And I looked and I said, he has them all lined up, and I said, man, that's my song. And Erica said, you know that quote? I said, I sing it to you all the time. So I'm starting to sing it. She's like, oh yeah, I know the tune, I just never paid attention to that particular lyric or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, so y'all know me, I'm a little introverted. So needless to say though, I wanted that painting. I wanted it. And we stood there, and like I said, he's more so one of Erica's friends, and so they got to talking, and I'm standing there, I don't know how, I'm an introvert, so I don't know how to just inject, hey, how much is that painting over this? I'm waiting on them to, and my back's to the painting at that time, and I'm waiting on them to stop talking, so I might just have enough nerve to say, and I'm thinking, calculating in my head, well, how much money do I have? Thinking about it. And I look back, and the picture was gone. It was gone. And I said, the picture that was over there, Erica said, the picture that was over there, is it sold? And Slim said, yeah, the guy right before you guys, he came along and he was paying for it right when y'all walked up, and he took it, and he done took it to his car. So I'm standing there feeling like a penny waiting for change. I'm telling y'all, my little heart just sunk. And my wife being my wife, she was like, well, Slim, I think Candace wanted that painting. So, I think she was trying to get up her nerve to ask for it, and now it's gone. And he said, oh, really? You like that painting? And I said, yeah, that's one of my favorite songs. And that lyric, the difficult I'll do right now, but the impossible will take a little while, really speaks to me. He said, yeah, that's a really good quote for a pastor, isn't it? And I said, yeah, but I missed my opportunity because now I look back and it's gone. And he said, well, good thing if you turn the corner right there, there's another one that's larger than the one that was back there. And in my opinion, better than the one that was right there that you saw to begin with. And the thing is, I sung the words, and my wife purchased it. Well, I want it right now. Let's go ahead and just make that transaction. We ran around the corner, and sure enough, it was 3 times bigger than the first one, and it was there, the same exact words, and I'm like, yes, I'm getting my painting, and as I began to just sing a little song, the difficult I'll do right now, in my mind, I heard the Lord say to me, is there anything too hard for me?
My God.
And the whole moment just became prophetic. And what may seem so trivial rang out loud and clear to me. God said, you may feel that you missed your opportunity, but I have something better waiting for you right around the corner. Is there anything too hard for me? I began to just praise God right then and there, and I said, God, I see you, and I'm listening to you right here. Somebody ought to hear this today. Somebody needs to hear me this morning. What you thought you wanted is gone, but what you need is but a few steps away. Somebody better hear me this morning. That thing became prophetic to me. Somebody catch this. Stop looking behind you for what you lost and start looking forward to what you about to gain. God began to speak to my spirit through that whole interaction. Is there anything too hard for my God? And I said, God, I hear you loud and clear. The difficult, that the whole thing became prophetic at that point. Here's the thing. Often we allow the difficult to delay us, if not stop us altogether. Watch this. I've been singing these lyrics my whole life for the most part. I learned this particular song when I was 12 years old. Yes, I've been a Billie Holiday fan since I was 12, a nerdy kid, And so I learned this song when I was about 12 years old. The difficult I'll do right now. God spoke to me. The difficult is your part. Oftentimes, God is not going to interfere with your difficult. He's not going to step in on the difficult. He's not going to interject in the difficult. Why? Because difficult is still attainable with a little bit of effort. We have to be diligent in the difficult. So often, and I'm guilty of this, I do the easy and then put the difficult in the back. But watch this. What is going to set you apart from the rest of the people is your ability to do the difficult. Everybody does the easy. Stop allowing the difficult to delay you. The lyrics became difficult. If you put forth a little bit of effort, you can do the difficult. Therefore, I'm going to stay out of it, thus says the Lord. I'm just going to watch you and wait until you ready. Because when you start doing the difficult, gives me the inkling and tells me you're ready for me to step in. Yesterday, the impossible will take a little while. With God, nothing is impossible. The impossible is possible when you step aside and let God handle it. Once you've done the difficult, allow God to then do the impossible. And yes, it might take some time, but the time God uses to do the impossible is the time you need to prepare yourself for the blessing. Sometimes God takes his time so that you can't brag that it was you.
Amen.
That sometimes there'll be a little bit of a delay. God will take his time. It'll take a little while. So you can't brag, because if you happen automatically, then you say, oh, that was easy, and you want to feel like you did it all on your own. The restoration of Israel after the destruction did not happen overnight, but it happened. Is there anything too hard for God? The conception and the birth of Isaac did not happen in that exact moment, but a few months had to pass before anything took place inside of Sarai. But is there anything too hard for God? For with God, nothing is impossible. With God, your impossible becomes possible. But we have to be willing to put forth some of the effort in which to make it come to fruition. Many of us, we're praying for things. We're praying about businesses we haven't even written a mission statement for yet. Oh, and I didn't hear nobody when I said that, huh? What do you mean, you have not done the legwork? We praying about houses we ain't saved a dime to get yet. We praying about houses that our credit can't even, credit still on zero, not even 400. We just no credit. But we praying for a house. Come on now, the difficult I'll do right now. We praying for stuff that we ain't, you praying for a spouse, but you ain't let go of the joker to find your king or queen. See, sometimes we pray for a spouse, but we ain't willing to be alone first. Oh, it got quiet in here. Oh, no, it's the truth, though, because we don't want to be alone. We can't take a little bit of time just to be by ourselves. We have to fill the time void with somebody. And some people that we in relationship right now, I'm about to speak now, right now ain't nothing but a time placeholder until your real one come along. I'm about to step on the toe. You ain't got to like me when we leave. And it ain't nothing but a placeholder because you're waiting on God to send you who you really want. But this one will occupy my time long enough that I don't have to be lonely, God. So I'm going to keep this one. But God said the difficult I need you to do right now. Be by yourself for a little while.
Yes, amen.
I knew I don't get nobody claps for me. Yeah. The difficult I need you to do right now. And then the impossible I'll handle in a little while. See, the thing is, don't let your difficult delay you from your impossible. Don't keep praying on the impossible if you're not willing to do the difficult.
Right.
I'm going to say that again.
That's
Don't
right.
keep praying on the impossible if you're not willing to do the difficult. God, I need you to heal me of the disease that's in my body. Lord, I'm praying for you to take away all sickness and pain and hurt, but you're not willing to diet. I ain't give her one little tip. I think that was from Maya. God and watch God then do the impossible.
Amen.
That thing got prophetic to me. Is there anything too hard for me? And the answer is resounding no, God. There is nothing impossible for you. For with God, all things are possible. Jesus said it like this: with man, it would be impossible. But with God, nothing is impossible. I love the fact that we are able to tap into the supernatural impossible simply by our doing the difficult and having faith that God will do the rest. See, a lot of times we leave out the difficult. Church will teach you to do and be lazy on it. Just continue to pray about it. I watched the video and then I'm about to get out of here. And I have to agree with the person that was on the video that there was she said a young lady, y'all might have seen this a couple years back, but y'all might have seen this. A young lady said that she was wanting to get her eyebrows or her eyelashes done. And she met a young lady in Walmart. And the young lady said she did lashes. And so she said, well, where do you do them at? And she said, well, right now I just do them from in my house. And she said, well, I really need them done. So I went on over there. And turns out she was over to her auntie's house. And she's over to her auntie's house and they began talking. And she started talking about how devastating a time she was in and how she didn't have any money and how the child support was running low, and the father of her kids was not paying child support right, and all of these things, and the fact that she was only there, cut her hours at her job, and so she was only able to get a few hours on her job, and the auntie came in and said, well, baby, you need to pray. And the girl said she just sat up and was like, I know she about to give her some better advice than just pray. And she said it again, well, baby, you just need to pray. And she went on complaining about what was happening. The job didn't cut the hours. The baby's daddy ain't paying the child support. She's broke. She really needs the lights about to get cut off and all of these hardships she going through. And the auntie said, that's it. We praying right now. Bow your head. We about to pray. And the girl said she didn't want to pray. So she was like, no, I'm not going to pray. She was like, you ain't nothing but the devil, and kicked her out the house. She said, according to the Bible, faith without works is dead. And I have to agree with this young lady. And see, this is where Christianity, religion in itself, gets a bad name. Because we have been conditioned to become lazy and just pray. Rely on God. That's it. Don't do nothing else. But faith without works is dead. Yes, rely on God. Yes, God will see you through. Yes, God will do what he said that he will do. But there must be some effort on your part. Just praying about it is only half of the battle. The other half is get your behind up and fill out some applications so that somebody can hire you so you can get better hours. Go ahead and do what you need to do physically so God can then do the rest of the work supernaturally. And many of us, we are unwilling to put the work behind our faith, but yet want to sit back and simply pray that God just do what you say that you're going to do. And God is looking at us like, do what you need to do in order for something to happen and transpire in your life. I know we've been conditioned to do that. I know we've been conditioned to think that way. I know we've been conditioned to just pray. But I'm telling you right now, then go look it up because it's in the book of James that faith without works is dead. I'm telling you right now, have faith. Absolutely. Pray to God. Yes, indeed. But then get your behind up and do some work so God can then work on your behalf. Amen. Some of us are stuck in a rut because all we doing is praying. And that's it. Yes, pray. But don't stop working. The difficult is on you. And it allows God then to do the impossible. God bless y'all. I love y'all. God is so faithful. He's so faithful. Write down, this is y'all's homework for the week. Write down